What stands out about you about Josh and Trayvon?
The effort that they've put out has been tremendous.
Yeah.
Those guys come to work. They're pros. They go out there. They have a good job. They have a good time. They're fun guys to coach, and they want to be coached. And I think this spring's been awesome for us all to kind of come together.
Ugba's been around a long time, had a lot of success. How helpful is it to have a guy like that added to the group?
I think anytime you can add a guy to the room with that kind of veteran experience and leadership, it helps everybody in the room. He has some familiarity with the system from the places that he's been in the past, and I think he does a good job of kind of being available to help these guys, help them grow, and help them understand.
Do you see like that hunger from Josh? I mean, he had the success 2 years ago. Last year was a little bit of a step down by his standards. I mean, do you see him like the strive, the work to kind of try and get back to that?
Josh has been phenomenal. He's come to work every day with a smile on his face. He goes out there, does everything we ask him to do, and he's just really focused on being the best player he can be.
Where's Mason at going into year two?
We're really excited about Mason. We think he's had a really good spring. He looks stronger than he did on tape a year ago.
Yeah, that's what he said when I talked to him. He said that he felt like he wasn't strong enough last year.
Yeah, we're really excited. You know, you look at a guy that had some injuries in college, and I don't know if he ever really got an off season per se, but he's been working hard before we got back for phase one and everything. But we're really excited about the progress he's made.
We can see a guy that you can kind of see maybe the light was coming on late last year as he was kind of getting farther and farther away from that injury, like where he's finally getting maybe back to himself a little bit.
I can just speak to like my time with him here. Like he's been really focused. He's been very deliberate. He practices with the purpose, and I think he's just really working to carve out his role, and that role will be whatever he makes it.
What do you like about your interior? A lot of people coming into the offseason thought there might be changes on the interior defensive line. You didn't make. What do you like about that bunch to give you confidence to go forward?
I think it's a good mix of veterans, obviously with Eric and with D. Ham, and then we have some young guys that sprinkled in, and they all have a different skill set. But we're excited about that inside group, and they've really come together well. They've really done a good job of adopting and being coachable about our play style, how we want to play here.
Is it a group that sort of wants to prove something? The last couple of years, I guess the run's been okay. Do you sense that they're ready to, I guess, make a step?
Yeah, as far as the last couple of years, I can't really speak to that. I know our philosophy is to not let people run the ball.
Okay.
And those guys have really adapted to that. And I think through the drills and through the limited practice opportunities that we had, that you could tell that's a point of emphasis for our defense, but also them individually. I don't think any of those guys want to walk into a game and let somebody run the ball.
Gotcha.
Coach, do you have a preference, and I ask this if you don't want to answer this, fine. Do you have a preference of having to have that 0 or that 1, that nose tackle? Traditionally, maybe not even a real good pass rusher, but he does things that you don't see. Or can you get away with having two guys that prefer the two-gap or be 3 techniques, or not necessarily have to line up right over that center to take the heat off the linebackers?
Well, I think there's some schematic advantages to having both. I think our ability to maybe have some front variety and give the offense something else to prepare for. But most importantly, when we're looking at like body types, who this guy is or where he can play, it's like we just want to put guys in a position where they can be successful.
Is it about I'm asking because I don't know.
Yeah.
Are those individual jobs basically like do your job, or do you as a defensive lineman have to really focus on being complimentary, or is complimentary just doing your job and handling your responsibility?
I think that's a good question. I want to try and make sure I answer that fairly. Like above all else, we want to make sure we're doing our job.
Okay.
And a big part of our job is to go out there and make plays. You know, sometimes the defense asks us to do certain things a certain way, and the guys have really adapted well to that. But as far as like, hey, you're doing this, hey, you're doing that, I think every player here is really hungry and eager to do whatever we ask of them, knowing that we want to put them in the best position based on their play style and skill set.
I think a lot of times with fans and even some people of the media, where a guy was drafted, even though he has 20 sacks the last 2 years, where Trayvon was drafted sometimes gets people in the headlock and they don't look at the production. Just independently, watching him on tape and what you know about him, what he's done since he's been in the league. What's your impression of this?
Well, first and foremost, like as a person, he's tremendous. He's so fun to coach. He works incredibly hard. I think whenever players get drafted, where he was, or any player for that, there's always a little bit of managing the expectations. Here's what I can say about Trayvon. He comes out every day and tries to develop and work to be the best player he can and be a really well-rounded player. And that's what we're excited about for him.
No doubt about it. Are sacks overrated? Is pressure more important, or do they go hand in hand?
I mean, obviously, sacks are kind of a benchmark, right? But we're not just going to celebrate sacks. We're going to celebrate hands, hits, hurries, anytime that we can affect the passer. And, you know, I think Coach Camp has a great way. Like, if you had 600 opportunities to rush the passer and you had 10 or 11 sacks, that's a pretty good year. But what did you do with the other 590? And that's where sometimes that's not seen and it's not celebrated in the statistical category, but that's certainly something that we value, the ability to affect the quarterback. Obviously, we want to put the guy on the ground, but we have to affect them down in, down out.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You were Smoot last year.
Yeah.
What stood out about him? Are you excited to have him back down here in Jacksonville with you now?
Yeah, I'm really happy to have him down here. I'm glad we were able to get that worked out. He, again, you start with just the person.
Yeah.
Great person. Pro, shows up, works, plays violent. And then obviously our time in Buffalo, the familiarity for the two of us, I think makes this a pretty easy transition, in addition to the fact that this was really home for so long.
Yeah. Have any of your UDFAs kind of caught your attention at all? Eli, BJ, Ethan?
Yeah, I don't know if I would single any of those guys out because I'm really just proud of them as a group.
Yeah.
They work hard, they study, they're doing everything they can to catch up with the vets from a knowledge standpoint. And individually, they're all just trying to improve, and they're all just trying to carve out a role and take that kind of one day at a time.
How much freedom do these guys have in the scheme to kind of go with their move if they can? I mean, I know Coach Camp always says he wants guys that don't want to be blocked.
That's right.
How does?
I think it's important to remember, like, this is a make or miss league.
Yeah.
You know, not that different than the NBA. You either made the play or you didn't. But within that, there's an integrity and an accountability to the whole defense. Like, do your job at a high level, and you might be surprised how many plays you actually end up making.